Welcome back, everyone. Going into the second half here of Old Drop Frames. Let's talk about video
I did bring
games.
donuts back, but I ate them all. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I get it. I understand. I'm just gonna, distance. I'm just gonna go over here a little bit more into my side of things. Okay. Zeke, what have you been playing? What's been going on?
1 second, I'm updating my taste profile. Okay, done. All right. Anyway, what have I been playing?
Yeah. What have you been doing? What's going on? What's shaking over on Zeke's Funhouse?
Let's see. The last game I played was Mind Scanners, it's a indie game that I checked out on a few Sundays ago, like 3 weeks ago or whatever, and it's like a
Oh yeah.
neon cyberpunky kind of Papers Please ish kind of a thing. Papers Please fell a little short for me. This one kind of picked up the interest because in Papers Please, as far as I know, like as much as I played, it's you get one mini game that they add things to, right? They add like you have to check for this, now you have to check for this, now you have to check for this. This one is like lots of they just add more mini games. You see the difference that I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The basic premise of the game is you're a mind scanner in this dystopian future, in this place called the Structure that is surrounded by a wall, and this is where all like the civilized people live, basically. And you go around and you give people a mind scan, and you determine whether they're sane or insane. If they're sane, it's kind of like in Papers, Please, where you give them a pass and they just go through the gate, right? If they're insane, then you have tools at your disposal to like basically zap parts of their brains. And that's where the mini games come in. When you determine someone's insane, you see they have little symbols for their insanities. And you like, one of the things is like an audio Morse code thing. So it's like it shows the character that you're trying to fix, and it shows like speakers by their ears, and you hear this beep boop 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 beep boop, and then you have to match it, and then it plays the sound like it's like an oral a oral treatment.
Right.
And there's like lots of different like mini games like that. And there's a tenseness to it because you have a time limit. Everything costs either the KPOC, which is the game dollars, or it costs time. And you upgrade, you get more like systems, more tools to help you like fix the people and stuff like that. But the another really cool thing about it that kind of drew me in was the premise of it is you are being forced to be a mind scanner because the Structure has your daughter held captive. So you get like messages from the Structure saying, you're doing very well. Your daughter is also very healthy. She's being looked after and blah, 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 blah. Keep up the good work. And then you get like, and I'm not spoiling anything because this happens like pretty much day 1 or 2 of your job. You get a message from like the underground called Moonrise. And they're like the rebels trying to take down the Structure.
Yeah.
And you decide kind of in the game whether you want to like go with Moonrise. Oh, sorry, someone linked this to me. You don't have to watch this.
Oh no, this is great. This is one of my favorite film clips of all time.
It's from Mac and Me. Do you remember that old
no,
movie?
I only know this because Paul Rudd shows it during interviews when he goes on Conan.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the clip he brings about his movie.
Oh, I had no idea.
It's great. It might get us DMCA. Maybe not. It gets weirder.
Woo! That was okay. Anyway, that made me laugh.
Yeah.
But
mind scanners.
Yeah, getting back to the game. You decide whether you want to like side with the rebels and take down the Structure and get your daughter back that way, or I'm guessing that's the way I decided to go. Or I'm guessing you can like go against the rebels and try and like play by their rules so you get your daughter back that way, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't finish it.
Are you going back to it?
But it seemed like, yeah, it seems like I don't have that much more of the game to do. It doesn't feel like that because of all the power-ups and upgrades you can get. Like all of them were open that I could buy. So it felt like I'm getting to an end game of sorts. But yeah, it's a fun gameplay loop for me. The stories that the insane people or the people you're checking, your mind scanning, are kind of cool, and it's kind of like fun. It was fun talking to chat, going, you only get black and white, you only get sane or insane. So there's like a lot of like stories that the people tell you, like, that doesn't sound like necessarily insane, but it's not fully sane. So you have to like judge, like, And if you get like, and a little bit like Papers, Please, if you get one wrong, like they'll tell you a story like, this person went out and held up a convenience store. We are docking you 3 K-Poc, which is the money.
Yeah.
So you get like a little demerit, you get a little fun docking if you fuck up.
Yeah.
But one of the cool things in this game is I'm playing on the hardest setting, so fucking up is pretty easy. You can actually go back and do a day again if you fuck something up, if you want to like get it like right, quote unquote. But the other thing is, you can always go back to whatever day you want, but however many days you go back, those days that you skipped over going back are gone. You have to do those all over again.
Oh, so that's
so if you need to go back like 3 days, those 3 days that you went like skip past backwards are gone now.
Yeah.
So
it's cool.
And this, like, some of the mini games are disturbing, funny. Like you basically put this thing over this guy's mouth and it goes, and you have to go like just fast enough so you won't like. You have to go a certain speed, because if you go too fast, you have to start over again. Kind of thing. It was fun. A lot of fun, cool mini games.
I think we talked about this game in great detail, so I don't spend too much time on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're gonna go back and finish it. You're gonna see it all the way to the end this time around. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
It is developed by The Outer Zone, which is funny because that's the name of what the Outer Zone, the Outer Zoners outside of the wall. That's what they call them.
Uh-huh.
And it's published by Brave at Night.
Huh.
And it is what, $16.99 on Steam.
Cool.
Very cool.
I know you also went and played Strangeland, which I don't remember us talking about you playing this at all. So what is talk to us about Strangeland?
Another game that I saw on Indie Day, and I went back because I wanted to give it another go, and I heard it was relatively short. I could probably do it in one stream, and we did. It's a fantastic short point and click game, very atmospheric, really good like voice acting, sound effects, all that stuff. Not a lot of like moon logic. There's not a lot of moon logic in it. It's pretty logical. They don't hide a lot of shit. There's a couple of moments that happen at any point and click where you're like, but not nearly as much or as long was I struggling as I have with other games. But it clips along. It's very well paced. It's weird. It's creepy and dreamlike throughout the most of the game. It's you get the sense pretty quickly on that it's a metaphorical thing, that this is a metaphor for blank. And it has lots of references of like Norse mythology, some biblical references. Like it has a lot of cool mythological references in it. That if you're like, I don't know, have a surface level knowledge, you'll pick some of it out and go, oh, that's that. Oh, cool. Okay. But yeah, like it's just a very well done, concise point and click. They don't drag it out. And the characters in it are like unique, very well drawn. The puzzles are some of them are pretty intuitive. One in particular that I want to make mention of that I thought was fucking cool and happened totally by accident. My the closed captioner that I use, my OBS plugin that I use, solved a puzzle for me, because the puzzle is a word like what, you know that game, I think it's Mad Gab or something, that they give you words in a row that sound like a sentence, you have to figure out what you're saying.
Words in a
So
row.
it's like
Okay.
it's like
I'm with you.
the word is like William Harry meat or something like William Harry meat. William Harry meat. Will you marry me? Like that.
Oh, okay.
It was
Sure.
that kind of puzzle.
like CDC.
Yeah, it was that kind of puzzle. And my fucking closed captioner, it's a phone number hidden in words, and my closed captioner solved it before I did. And it was like put the fucking phone number on the screen. I was like, did it just solve that fucking puzzle? And I put it in the phone. And I went, oh my god.
Huh.
It was really neat.
Kind of great.
It was cool.
That's kind of great.
And the devs, shout out to the Wormwood Studios devs. They actually, a couple of them showed up and hung out with us while we played the game. And I showed them that, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's crazy!" It's a very cool game. It is developed by Wormwood Studios, published by Wadget Eye Games. It's $14.99 on Steam. And if you ever played Primordia, it's by the same creators of Primordia.
Yeah. You said it was short. What was your game time in it?
I think it's like normal playthrough, like 4 to 5 hours.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Cool.
And then I also know you went and finished the old Resident Evil Village. Finished, right? You're done.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thumbs up, I'm assuming.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everything in that game was really well done. I don't understand. And I'm sure you guys might have had the same, like, I don't know, problem. That first section, they just front loaded the difficulty on that fucking game right up top. Nothing in the game
You're
is
talking about
harder
that first
than that.
survival section?
Yes.
The town or
Nothing
whatever,
in the game is harder than that. It is
Especially-
it's just
especially-
astounding.
Since you don't know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
Right,
like that's the
yeah.
biggest thing. If it was like he does give little hints at some points, like if you listen
Yeah.
to what the character's saying, but at no point is it like completely clear that you just basically need to survive like that section. And I don't even know what the limiters are. Yeah, same.
I stumbled into a win and almost fucking reset because I thought I failed again. Because I got to a screen that was a cutscene, but I thought it might be the death cutscene again that I had seen so many times. So I was like, and then I stopped and went, wait, this is a little different.
Did you?
Did I win?
I did the
And that's exactly what I
same
said.
thing.
Did I win?
Huh. I think I know exactly.
exact same thing.
Having not played it but watched it, I think I know the exact moment you're referencing. Were you playing on the hardest difficulty? Is that why?
Yeah.
Okay. And
not
like
hardest,
the
because you
not the paid
Hardest you can in the first
difficulty.
time.
Yeah. Unless you buy like the deluxe or something, right?
which I did and I could have done, and I'm glad I did not.
Okay. That's like Village of Shadows or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one is designed for New Game Plus. There's parts of that are just like you can't
Absurd.
do. You don't have enough ammo or things to do it with if you do it from the very beginning of the game. You just have to run by mobs basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zeke, dude, I spent so long on that section because I thought you had to kill everything for the longest time. So I was like trying to figure out how to like group enemies up, and I was dying all these crazy ways because I was just like experimenting, being like, okay, if I get those three together, and if I wait for that guy, and like I'm trying to plan out a route and stuff to kill them all. And then eventually, just like during one of those attempts, exactly like you said, I just died, and then I was like, wait, did I win? Is that guy in a horse? Like what?
Okay.
What's going on?
Yep.
No, I saw something. I don't want to spoil it, but I saw something. Some enemies show up, and I was like, "Oh, this guy, he's on my side. He's totally on my side. He's like fucking shit up."
Yeah.
So I just sat there and I was like, "Yeah," and then I was like, "Nope, he's not." Like that. I thought that was a win for me.
The old juice on the hand to restore it. I need to play through this eventually. I'm waiting for the exact time for my brain. I don't know what this is, but or how long this will take. But I'm waiting to forget all of this, so that then it's like a fresh playthrough.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah.
It'll
It's
take half a year or
it's
so.
great. It's very much since I played RE4 right before this, it's very much reminiscent of that kind of Resident Evil, where it's just like a lot of action, a lot of moving, like not a lot of just like banter in between bullshit. It's mostly like just plugging through the main quest, and it clips along. Besides save the first section, it's very well paced, I think. And I loved the character and enemy design, how new and varied and different they were. Some were really like fascinating, and some were grotesque and all that kind of stuff. And I think they did the different sections of the game. I think they did them very well and different enough from each other to feel like a new experience-ish kind of a thing. So yeah.
Dada. Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. That was great.
Did you? I feel like that's something I won't be able to forget, unfortunately. But I also feel like that was like the most spoiled thing, at least that I saw on social media. Did you get to that part without being unspoiled, or without being spoiled, Zeke? Without referencing exactly what happened, did you get to that part without it being spoiled for you?
Yes, I didn't have, the only thing that I really had spoiled for me was the Lady Dimitrescu. Like, you know, it was hard to avoid.
Yeah.
Hard to avoid that. But all the rest of it, was totally in the dark, and everything was a fun surprise for me. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
There was 2 bits of news about Resident Evil Village. The first is that the thing to come out of Capcom's E3 conference was that we're getting DLC for 8 for Village, which is not a surprise. But also that Resident Evil Village is the second best-selling game so far of 2021. It's done very, very well. Which, not really a surprise. I mean, Resident Evil is
9
like massive.
2 inches why?
Sure. Yes. That was very well done marketing. But also, I mean, it's got movies, right? Like Resident Evil is a pretty popular thing. But that also didn't hurt, without a doubt. So it's cool. Did you play this on PC, Zeke? What platform were you playing? Yeah. Okay.
PC.
It's a good one. Hey, did you finish Persona 3? Is that over?
No.
Oh, you're still doing that. Okay.
Still figuring out a day for it.
Go
ahead.
Well, have you hit where have you seen the ending yet?
No.
Okay. No. All right.
I'm still I've just finished up all of the known shadows. All the known shadows, the 12 have been defeated.
Okay.
And then there's that fucking 2 or 3 week chunk where you don't do shit.
Right.
And I had to like plug through that just so I could get new shit in tartar sauce.
Right.
Finally got some new shit in tartar sauce, and now I'm just waiting for like the big baddie, whatever it is, to fucking show up. I probably have, I don't know, 3 full streams, if not 4.
I would say like 20 hours, 15, 20 hours. Yeah. You got some, maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe it's been a long time. I forget the sequence of events, but yeah, there's a lot. It's a Persona game. Surprise. I'm just scrolling through. I think that's kind of in general it. That's going back a couple of weeks in terms of what you've been jumping through. E3 kind of took over everyone's schedule. Co,
dude, I want to talk to Co. Yeah, Co. I want to talk to you about Solasta and how much I'm fucking. It's my off-stream game, and I just can't get enough.
Right. I remember you mentioned that.
I am loving it, dude.
Yeah,
dude, it's a lot of fun. I'm done with Solasta. I beat it on the hardest difficulty, and I had a really good time with it. I thought it was pretty great. It is like, what's really cool about Solasta is you can tell it's a lower budget project. Like the animations are a little weird. Sometimes the dialogue's a little disjointed. The voice acting is kind of hit and miss. But at the same time, I feel like it's one of those situations where the company really put their resources in the right place. Like the verticality is super cool in the system. The maps are a lot of fun. The actual combat system is really cool. There's tons of items. There's a cool crafting system. There's lots of like really nice little QOL features that in some cases even the AAA stuff isn't doing. And honestly, like by the time I got to the end of it, I was like, let's go. Like I enjoyed the whole time. I enjoyed the whole thing. And my hope is that since this opened up as a Game Pass game and was a relatively well-received title, that this is now going to give the devs the resources they need to really come back and hit the next version of this game like full force, much better kind of, much better prepared in terms of being able to handle more kind of AAA style features and stuff and just knock it out of the park. Like for what they had, they did a great job with Solasta, and I really liked it big time.
It played like I think the UI for this game was the biggest selling point for me. That the level of entry for this versus Baldur's Gate 3, which I played just a little bit ago, like this, it's a lot easier to jump into this. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's like presented in a way that clicks with my brain, but it seemed like I was just, running and gunning from the beginning, and I felt like I had a good handle on the turn structure and how it worked and stuff like that, and how like this, however it was set up, the easily accessible, like I know that this button, it's like not like I had to know where shit was laid out.
Yeah, because
it was like very well put together. Also, it was 5e, like your basic 5e rules, which I'm very familiar with. Yeah, it seemed much easier to pick up and play. But like Ko said, you do have to the graphics and stuff are about, from about 10 years ago. But
really? Okay.
It's one of those things you can forgive because the game is fun. It's really fun. And it makes you feel like the thing it wants, I feel like the thing it wants to accomplish is make you feel like you're actually playing D&D, and it does that. It does that very well because you're walking around, you're searching, like you're seeing stuff, you're, finding traps. Everybody has different skills and stuff. Certain spells are beneficial, like actually work the way they're supposed to, like they do in D&D and stuff. You prepare for like a battle that you're going to have. There's a couple of glitchy things, and I wanted to ask you about this code. Like I wanted to put it on Twitter, but I didn't want to there's a couple mechanical things. There's a dispel magic spell, and there's one of the enemies casts like this veil of darkness. And you'd think like the dispel magic would take care of that. It does not. Like I haven't found a use for dispel magic, and it's a great useful spell in D&D.
There are more than a few bugs in the game.
Yeah.
So it is very likely that it may just be not. If you understand it, they want the interpretation to be as true to D&D as possible. And a lot of the times, if you try to do something and it doesn't work in the game like it does in D&D, a lot of times it's a bug. I've reread into
darkness is not magic.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
As someone in chat is just
why
saying,
does it follow you around then? Why did I move out of the darkness area and I'm still blind? Is it?
I don't know.
Is that not magic?
Dispelling magic on flying enemies and stuff is pretty cool, but I mean hitting them can knock them out of the air too. So
right, sure. The other thing is there's a fucking cleric spell that gets you back up to a certain amount of healing or back up to half your HP max, and it's never worked. And I looked at forums and they're like, you got to read it, man. And so I know what I'm reading. I had people at 1 or 2 HP, and it doesn't heal them at all. It does 0.
What's the spell?
Yeah.
Do you remember the spell name, Zeke?
It's a cleric spell.
Is it
fuck. I can't remember off the top of my head. Damn it. Sorry.
But one thing kind of funny about the game is the entire death mechanic is kind of I'll say it's a little bit abusable, which I don't think it is in 5e. So basically, whenever a character goes down, he enters a death state, and at that point, it's 3 successful or 3 fails. But the thing is if you heal anyone to any point, then they exit death state, and if they go back into death state, they go in with all of their positive and negative saves removed. So it's like they died for the first time. So what that basically means is if you're like fighting an enemy that can only attack once per turn, then they'll kill your tank. Your tank goes down. It then becomes your turn. You heal the tank. He pops back up. The enemy attacks your tank. He goes down, and it's just there's no way the enemy can kill you at all.
That's
but then
5e.
let's say they can attack twice.
Yeah.
Well, the enemy attacks you once to knock you down, attacks you twice, and let's say crits to then give you 2 death saves. Well, you then heal that person for 1. He gets back up, and then when he hits them again to knock him down, he goes down and has all his death saves are gone.
Yep.
So like that's how it's supposed to work.
That's how
in
it works
5e.
in 5e.
It felt so cheesy.
Welcome to some of the
It
issues
felt
with
so
5e.
freaking cheesy. Okay, I thought that was a Solasta interpretation issue. I didn't realize that was how 5e worked. There were so many fights.
Exploits.
Yeah.
There were so many fights where I was just using the cleric cantrip to like stabilize them, and then they would get unstabilized, and then I'd stabilize them, unstabilized, and my tank was basically dead the entire fight.
Yep.
Tanking better than if he were alive because he would just eat all the hits.
As Dan used to say when we would play together, you don't heal people unless they're dead in D&D because of that very reason.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I completely see it. I completely see it.
Well, and the thing I was thinking about is the channel divinity. Channel divinity for a life cleric called and someone said like it's because the vampire did this was like I tried it outside of that fight. And it's never done shit. It's never healed ever. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing wrong, man. And I know, like, don't tell me it's because they were over half their hit points. I made sure that they were like 1 or 2 HP.
Yeah, someone just said
no one got healed.
Someone said you can only heal them up to half their max HPs. The DMs in chat, yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm aware.
Is that preserve life?
I think I know what the spell you're talking about.
Preserve life, is that the name? Channel divinity preserve life?
Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds right. And so, I don't know, it's never worked. Anyway, fuck it. I don't care.
I didn't use it either.
I just don't use it ever.
I assume you create there's Co-Carnage right there on stream. You played a paladin. Yeah. How much did like in the world of like role playing, are you able to choose like your are you able to role play it all in the dialogue, or is it pretty rigid in terms of how it goes?
That is another thing that I liked about this. That is kind of something that maybe I'll be fucking a pariah for this, but they really streamlined the dialogue stuff, which I am not. I'm a fan of that. I don't mind that at all. Like, there's a ton of dialogue in the Baldur's Gate games. This kind of streamlines it. You roll. Oftentimes, you roll automatically with the person. Like, if it's an inspiration or not inspiration, if it's a insight roll, the person with the highest insight rolls that stat for you. Can you saves come? Yes, but you can also turn that off on your game if you want to make it like a true experience. You can turn off like, or it's like a checkbox that says like keep this seed, which means your rolls, your answers will always be the same, or your rolls and results will always be the same. But I like that because it's a video game. And in the video in D&D, when I'm role playing tabletop, I relish the RP moments. And the combat's like a cool, like it's whipped cream. I like it, but the main shit is RP. In a video game for me, I want like the action to be like the main thing, and then the RP to be like the whipped cream on top.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this game does that. It's the dialogue is very streamlined. You don't like, and I hate this about myself. It's like one of those things like I punch myself in the balls playing these games because every dialogue option.
You shouldn't. Don't do that.
I have to exhaust.
Don't do that. What?
It won't. My brain won't let me. It's like I have to exhaust every dialogue option, and they like the people that you can talk to is very limited, like to the things you need to know, pretty much. And I love that. Like, I've exhausted all the dialogue options. Guess I'm gonna go battle again. Woo, woo.
What's the balance of combat to, like, I don't know, walking around town, story related, watching dialogue, that type of stuff?
Probably like 70 to 80% combat.
Nice.
It is very combat heavy. The game is very combat heavy.
Do you think, as someone who's not necessarily as familiar, and I'll ask Zeke the inverse of this, someone who's not necessarily familiar with 5e rules, do you think you learned enough from this game going into a tabletop campaign now that you feel like you have like kind of a leg up, or at least you're versed in the system more so than you would be?
Was that a question for me?
For Co first, and then we'll ask you the
for
inverse.
Me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I just started last Monday my new D&D session with this Joker here and Elohim, Chilled Chaos, and them. And I will say that I feel like I have a much better grasp when we start combat on what that means, how the turns progress, how that works. So yeah, it where before, you know, I felt a little bit more less sure about the situation. Like now kind of I see a framework in my head as we kind of move through things that I think is going to be really helpful.
Yeah. Are you have you gotten upset at other people's plays yet? Where like in this you control a team, and that one you're just like, make sure you do it, mate. Come on. Just come over.
Well, what's kind of fun is in our current game, I'm playing like a reserved, kind of sarcastic, snarky, not so great guy, and one of the other players, Chill Chaos, is playing this overly energetic, like in your face, like I'm gonna just do what I want, like say ridiculous stuff out loud. And my character, pretty overtly, even in our first episode, strongly dislikes his character.
Sure.
So it's been a fun dynamic.
Nice.
So yeah, everyone has very cool characters in this one, so it's going to lead to an interesting game.
Yeah. Sure. Zeke, for you, the inverse of that question, like your knowledge of 5e, has that helped or hurt you going into the actual game of Solasta?
Helped,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah. It's I know the structure of turns and stuff, like the movement, action, bonus action, so on and so forth. I played most of the characters, or most of the classes, excuse me, in D&D. But like Co found out, like, oh shit, Warlock's one of the classes I've never played. Like maybe the one, like, of the core that I've never played. So I was kind of clueless. I was like, fuck, I guess I'll try and help you. But goddamn, Warlock is not, I've never played one. So it was a little weird. But
Arcade said everything worked out. You did great.
Yeah. I'm playing, like, there's on my squad, there's a cleric, a wizard, a paladin, and a rogue. So like, that's all like gravy to me. I played each one of those classes at least a year or more.
Yeah.
In different games. So it's very much helping. And it's kind of cool to like figure out like, oh, I have a bonus action left. That means I can do Healing Word. I know that's a bonus action spell. There it is. And there it is, right there, like you think it is. You know?
Yeah. Cool. Well, it's on Game Pass. What is it? Is it a full $60 game outside of that? $40?
No. That's the thing. I think it's only like 40, if I'm not mistaken. It is currently $40. Yep, it's $40.
$39.99.
It's 1.0. There's 6 classes right now, but they're going to be adding in Sorcerer. In fact, they just tweeted out this is pretty cool. They just tweeted out a big form that they're asking people to fill out that have played. And they're like, what do you want to see in updates? You know, we have the Sorcerer coming. What else do you want from everything? And they've also been super inclusive with their community in kind of making and forming the game. For most of my playthrough, one of the CMs was hanging out in the chat. They were constantly like, you know, answering questions and doing all sorts of stuff there. So yeah, it's really cool. Full disclosure, I have a character in the game and it's very poorly voiced.
Okay. All right.
Let's keep that in mind.
There you go.
You can't miss it. You can't miss him. You get it. You get to talk to him right away, and a couple of times after that, it's great.
I think that's in Co's
really
Rider.
Immerses me right in the game. Doesn't pull me out of it at all.
I think that's in Co's Rider to have characters right at the beginning of the game, because it was the same.
Not only or scream at you during other main story components.
Yeah. It was the same thing in Cyberpunk. I'm very interested on your take on this, because you do not have an affinity for these games, where I think a lot of people have played these games before. The old Ratchet and Clank series. How are you liking
Oh my God.
Rift Apart? Are you in? Are you a fan
This
now?
game is so good.
Good.
But I mean, I don't know if it's, I'm going to be honest. I can't compare it. I can't say it's good because it's Ratchet and Clank. What I can tell you is that this game is really, really good.
They're all good.
Are they all? Okay. Well, I mean, this game, it's gorgeous. The amount, the type of loading that it does is complete. This is one of the first games that I've really played where I'm like, this is a completely next generation game. Like the way that it plays, it's so smooth. The graphics are absolutely beautiful. Everything is rock solid. It only crashed once and it hard locked my PS5.
Really?
Yeah, at the very beginning, funny enough. And then it's been perfectly since then. But I mean, in terms of like the scenes and how quickly it loads and some of the transitions it does, like I'm constantly finding myself, wow, this is an amazing scene right here as well.
Everything I see in this game is just eye candy where I'm just like, God fucking damn,
yeah.
you did.
Huge variety of weapons, a weapon upgrade system that's super cool. There's loot everywhere. There's upgrades and little secrets you can get everywhere. The weapon variety is really fun. Like there's only like 1 or 2 normal weapons and they can all be leveled up and then get like a special unlock at level 5. It has been extremely fun so far. I'm having a good time with it.
Has the,
pretty great.
For those that have never played it, Ratchet and Clank is kind of like lighthearted humor.
Disney. It's Disney-esque.
Yeah, like Pixar Disney-esque for sure. Is that are you enjoying that aspect of it? Because I would say typically, at least what I know about you and your interest in that stuff, you don't necessarily partake in said
I was
IP.
talking about it today.
Yeah,
I was actually talking about it today. It feels a little bit like Immortal if it was a little bit more generalized and a little bit less daddy, if that makes sense.
Oh, a
little bit less dad jokes and a little bit more just kind of like family jokes. Where the humor is just kind of like it's very simple, it's very in your face, but at the same time, because of how like pretty the game is and how good the voice acting is and everything, it's just enjoyable. Like you said, it's like watching a Pixar movie. In a lot of cases, it feels better than watching a Pixar movie. Just with like there's been more than a couple times when a cutscene has ended, and I have not even realized the cutscene has ended because of how good the graphics are. And I've been like, oh shit, I control now. Like it's so wild.
Yeah.
It is super fun. And yeah, the humor is great. Like somebody today was like, yeah, how do you like the story? Is it, I know you like complex stories. And I was like, well, no, the story is not that complex, but I don't think it needs to be that complex. The story is there to just kind of lead you through this tale of Ratchet and Clank. Like it doesn't need to be like a Pillars of Eternity style twist and turns and surprises. And it doesn't need any of that stuff. It's just there to kind of like keep you moving forward and have you interact and hang out with all the enjoyable characters and see all the locations and the cool things and all that stuff. And it does it well.
Are you playing 1080p?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm playing on a 1440 monitor, but I think it's in 1080. 1080 with I think it's like Performance Z or something like that. Z Performance. There's a few different quality levels you can do. And mine's on the 60 FPS and it's still absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. And
looks great. Oh, it is 14. Yeah, I'm playing on 1440. Performance RT is 1440. There you go. So that's what I'm playing on. Performance RT.
Part of me thought I thought that there was an issue with the PS5 where it actually couldn't output at 1440p.
Maybe upscaling from 1080, but if it is, I can't tell.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter. I just thought that was the case. Yeah, it's one of those games where I'm waiting for the time because I might actually like stream this. I think it's only like 14 or 15.
I think 10 to 12 hours is what I was told. If you go right, there's obviously a lot of, there's not only side missions, but there's a lot of side content as well. If you fully clear every area, and at any point you can bring up the map and you get all the little icons of the stuff around you can get if you want to. So if you were to get all of that, it'd probably be like 15-ish, if not a little more. But if you're just going through the main story and going objective to objective, you could probably have this game in 8 to 10 hours, no problem.
Oh, okay. Not too bad. It's a lot of fun though, just to see what the guns do and branch that stuff out. You play a Ratchet and Clank to see the absurdity and creativity of the devs and what they've put in there for all the different ways to play the action stuff. In terms of like not knowing the universe at all, are you finding yourself missing out on like inside jokes or like characters do they introduce characters when they show up for the first time, or did they just say like, hey, that's Captain Quark, and you're just like, oh, I guess his name's Captain Quark? Like how's that working out?
they definitely a few times be like, oh, that's so and so in like a different dimension, and I'm like, I don't know who so and so is. So I'm sure that would be a lot more impactful to those types of people. But it's never done to a degree where I feel like I'm really missing out, and all the main stuff is relatively easily introduced, like through. You know, you'll see like little glimpses of people, and then someone will kind of explain what you may have seen, and then you'll meet them later and stuff like that. So, yeah, I haven't felt like I've missed anything by not playing the others. Been getting the question a lot. Can I start with this one?
Yeah.
And as somebody that has, I can say I'm having a blast with it. So, I mean, maybe there's some deeper levels, you know, if you've played the previous ones, but I'm having a great time with it as a first time player.
Yeah, I think if anything, again, I haven't played it, but I know that in all the pre-release
These scenes are so cool.
Yeah, the rail stuff is really cool.
Yeah.
It's also
with the rail and the transition. There's lots of these like real quick transition areas, and it's wild how good they look and how quick it goes through. And
I saw Rami say there's not a single loading screen. Have you noticed that?
I don't think I've seen one.
It just kind of like it just goes. Like
it just keeps going.
That's insane to me. That's that SSD.
They're definitely prolonged animations, and I'm guessing those are the loading screen. Like when you leave a planet, like you don't just appear in space, like you take off and kind of fly through the atmosphere and stuff. I'm guessing they're using those as loading screens and everything. But yeah, it's been great. There's been no time at any point that I felt like I've been waiting.
Would you say this is the best game on the PS5 right now?
That's a little harder.
Yeah.
I think it's a really, really fun, beautiful kind of platformer, but at that point it's really going to be a genre thing. I mean, and also the fact that it's only, 10 hours if you fight through it. Like somebody in my chat earlier was like, yeah, I want to get a PS5 for this game. And I was like, so what do you do after 10 hours? There's not exactly a lot of replayability.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic addition to the PS5 library and a great reason to get it. And I think that especially Ratchet and Clank fans will really enjoy it. But I don't know if I'd go as far as saying it's like the showcase piece or I mean it might be graphically.
Yeah.
It might be graphically and tech wise. But in terms of the whole package, like I personally probably would say like one of the updates to one of the more recent ones, like Final Fantasy 7R for the PS5 would probably be like one of my probably bigger ones. I heard the update's pretty amazing there. And I did absolutely love the Yuffie thing that I did recently. So
yeah, we'll talk about that soon.
Yeah. I'd say it's a fantastic addition to the library.
Cool.
Sure.
Zeke, any questions for Co on the old Ratchet and Clank?
It's just not my style, man. I don't know. It looks gorgeous, it looks beautiful, but it needs to go one way or more or the other for me. It's just on the edge of being kind of like,
too Disney?
Cartoony. Like I'd rather it go like more mature or even less mature, like more cute and stuff like Astrobot. Like Astrobot is super cute, but it's not like, it doesn't try to be like clever and corny and like I'm fucking radical, like this kind of like hits that spot for me. I'm just like, not for me.
Makes sense.
But it looks beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Like I can appreciate the mechanics and the beauty and all that shit. Like I can appreciate a good painting. It doesn't mean I like it.
Oh, we got title card. Spoilers. That's a great, I guess we'll use that as our segue out of the footage of that. Co, you
Maybe I shouldn't explain myself from now on. I just say like I don't like it and move on.
I like hearing your reasoning.
Yeah, I like the reasoning.
I know.
Okay.
Just fucking with Chad.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I love hearing why you're wrong.
Nice.
There you go. That's better.
Nice. Well done. How is the Final Fantasy VII intergrade / intermission stuff?
Okay, yeah, and just to lay it out there, Final Fantasy VII Intergrade is the bringing to the PS5, from what I understand. Final Fantasy VII Intermission is the specific content involving Yuffie.
Okay.
So there is the differentiation there. And I believe Intermission is a part of Intergrade. Maybe. Anyway, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Yuffie is snarky and sarcastic, and I think that I really liked it. I do want to be careful here not to spoil too much because it's very new. So what I will say is I enjoyed Intermission. I had a really good time with it. There's some very fun new enemies, some very cool new things involving everything happening there. There were some big surprises in terms of what was in it, things I was not expecting at all. And overall, I had a really good time, and it's a very cool little addition to the Final Fantasy VII-R world, and it made me even more look forward to whatever they do in the future for that.
Nice.
And sorry. I don't want to say much more.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna roll.
I wouldn't roll too much from it because
I was gonna roll footage of the Fort Condor stuff.
Oh yes. Oh, Fort Condor was fun.
Yeah,
I did all the Fort Condor stuff, and it was fantastic.
Can you explain what that minigame is while I try to figure out if Explorer has crashed on this PC?
Sure. So Fort Condor is a rather extensive minigame. It is basically a quasi tower defense. You have one main tower and two side towers. And the point is there's a rock, paper, scissors system of, I think it's, what is it? Defenders, attackers, and ranged. And you constantly are gaining a resource that you spend, and units are worth different amounts. They can attack different types like ground, turret, or flying. And you basically have to put down units that counter your opponents while trying to destroy their towers or do as much damage to their towers as you can before the time limit ends, while also defending your side too. And you also have some light spell work that you can do during it as well to kind of, sway it to your favor.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out all this shit. Would you say that's how much time did you spend with it? Because I know a lot of people said they've just like gotten straight up addicted to the Fort Condor stuff.
Like at least 2 hours, I'd say. Like as soon as I found it, I just kind of did all of it. Literally just like that's all I did was Fort Condor for like 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does it show up pretty early?
It was fun. Yeah, relatively early.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool.
But it's cool. So like throughout it, you unlock different boards, and the boards define like what your spells are and how much of the starting resource ATP you start with, or ATB, and how fast it comes back and things of that nature. And then you also have like your main deck, and that's all the cards that you have normally, all the units. And then you have like the battle deck, which is the ones that you're bringing into that specific board to counter your enemies. And it's fun, dude. It was a lot of fun. Yep. And then there's also not only like playing the units, but where you play them is also really important as well.
We'll show
that thing is just like Clash of Kings. I have never played Clash of Kings.
That's that mobile game. Yeah, I wonder if they just like, because this is the first time that's shown up, right? Like that Fort Condor wasn't in any other Final Fantasy.
I want to say that there was a mini game in 7 where you had to. I think it was like you were. It wasn't this. It wasn't. I don't think it's exactly like it was in Remake, but there was a I think a particular mini game in 7. But it wasn't. And correct me if I'm wrong here, chat. I don't think it was like. It wasn't like this. I think it was just a defense thing.
Yeah, chat saying it was very optional. It was RTS tower defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in 7, but it didn't work quite like it does in R. In R, they basically, very similar to Remake, Fort Condor in Remake is like an homage to what was in the original. It's not the same, but it's like similar, slightly mechanically, and it's kind of like it's got the spirit of it. But it's like a competitive for fun game. It's a competitive for fun game that the characters play in Remake, where in 7 you were actually defending an area via the minigame. So it's a little, different feels. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. It took you, I think 5 to 7 hours is what I've said. You might've already said that. I still haven't resolved the issues.
I want to say I want to say like 7 to 8, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
With the 2 hours of Condor. Here, this is Fort Condor.
Yeah. Okay. Barry is now controlling the show from this point forward. So
cool.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, chat. Thank you, Suzu. 7.5 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is not bad for the price.
What's the price?
0.
Wait. Really?
No.
You got it because you got the deluxe edition.
That's incorrect. I think because I had a bit edition. How much is it, chat?
It's $20.
Is the PlayStation 5 upgrade free?
Yes.
Or is it also? then maybe that's what I was thinking was a free.
Yeah.
So okay, that's the free part, and then the other part's 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I love it when people
before we go
say-
on, is that accurate? Is the
Upgrade is free, $20 for DLC. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying in chat.
Well, still worth it. Still very much worth it. At $20, still very much worth it. Like
Yeah.
for almost 8 hours in the Final Fantasy VII world, and it was all new content. There are a couple, we'll say like recycled locations, but it fits what they're doing and everything.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It was no big deal.
Yeah, I went through the completely absurd process of getting my save in order to just to like go see what the game looked like, but not play the DLC off stream. Which is, did you do that at all, by the way, Ko? Have you seen this?
No, what do you have to do?
So, you have to download on the PS5, you have to download the 100 gigabyte PS4 version of the game, load in, you have to then load your save from there onto the PS5, then download the 100 gigabyte version of the game that's the PS5 version, go into that, and then load your save into that, and then you can play your old save from the PS4. I couldn't use the cloud PSN thing that I pay monthly for. You have to use their tool.
Is this like the official way?
This is the official way to do this. It's actually absurd. And then after I downloaded the 200 gigs in total, I had to download the 13 gigabyte version, or the 13 gigs of the DLC. That is like the Yuffie DLC or whatever, the intermission or intergrade, whichever one it is.
Damn.
It's kind of a pain in the ass. It was, I don't know. I think most of that is like the OS, aspect of the PS5, because they've done similar things to Avengers, where you had to download the PS4 version of the Avengers on the PS5 and then get your save and then download the PS5 version, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then of course, when I wanted to turn my PS5 off after, officially doing that, the, achievements started to roll from the PS4 save file that I had, and I couldn't shut it down because the way that you go to rest mode by hitting the PlayStation button is also the button that shows you what the fuck the achievement just is that you got. So I had to sit there for like 5 minutes while all these achievements just kept rolling in before I could turn my system off. It's pretty good. It's pretty good OS there. I quite like it.
Okay.
It's a little insane. But all that being said, once I got in game, turned 60 FPS mode on, that's a very pretty game that got prettier at 60 FPS and runs very, very well. It's the
intermission was gorgeous.
Yeah,
Absolutely was gorgeous.
Yeah. And I'm sure that translates into the combat. Like the combat's probably just more fun.
Much more fun.
Yeah.
You got it, man. It's a lot slicker. It feels more responsive. It just feels more responsive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
All right, Barry, take us back.
But it only costs
May.
it only costs $20 and an impossibly hard to find console.
Yeah. I think I saw something on Twitter today that they're doing like one of their Sony direct queues on tomorrow or something like that. I don't know if chat can verify or give me the specifics of that, but you are going to be able to at least get a PS5 through Sony, which might eliminate some scalpers from the possibility of that. Also, apologies to the chatters that already knew about this and are now telling me to shut up because they want that PS5 and they don't want you to get it. So I apologize to everyone else. Co, what else? Is there anything else you've been playing? I guess we could talk a little Guilty Gear. I don't know if we have anything else to add to it.
I played a little Guilty Gear, still awesome.
Yeah.
I need to play that game more. I played a game called Tainted Grail. Amazing music, a lot of fun. Kind of a card roguelite game. I think Zeke would actually really like Tainted Grail. You should check that game out, Zeke.
I did.
And
Also,
you did play. Oh, awesome. And then Last Spell, played some Last Spell. That one was really fun too. Had a good time with that one. And just a lot more Shiv 2. I'm playing more tonight. I love Shiv 2. It's a lot of fun.
we got
My little yell emote going, and yeah, it's good.
we have a little extra time. Let's spend some minutes on Tainted Grail and Last Spell, because I've seen a lot of people playing that, but I don't know anything about it. Tainted Grail is a card game, is what I'm saying. Barry, you can take us to the
card
footage.
roguelite. A card game, a card-based class roguelite.
Oh, he's excited. He's very excited for it.
And the music is awesome.
What type of music are we talking?
Like Viking dark undertoned jamming. I don't even know how to say it. It's got bass at times. It's like super.
You're just reading the Steam description.
I know, right?
Dark fantasy, deck building, jamming.
But no, it's like this Celtic, as someone said, Celtic Norse kind of Witcher 3-esque. It's from a group called Danheim. And it is, there's some jams in there that are just so good. I would just stop playing and listen to the music every so often. But yeah, it's really cool. So you get like cards in a deck, kind of standard card roguelite stuff, but then every level you get to like pick one of 3 random cards as well. You can lose cards later to make it so you're drawing the same ones over and over that may fit your class better. The class has all sorts of passives that play into it too. There's an entire passive perk system that synergizes with the cards. It can lead to really interesting runs. All the maps are procedural, and the map play is like you're kind of running around, killing mobs, doing different events. There's a whole town mechanic as well between the different rounds that you do to kind of add to the meta game as well. You do quests for all of them. Like there's also, I think, 9 classes, maybe more, maybe like a 12 or something. There's a huge amount of classes, and they all play relatively differently in I think 3 main archetypes. But yeah, it's awesome. It's really fun. I had a great time with it. I may return to it at some point, and it's a very solid game.
Cool. Yeah, Zeke, you said you played it. Anything to add?
Yeah, I played about, it looks like I have like 7.7 hours on record in my Steam. The thing that I was wondering, is it like, because they give you cards every victory or, specific victory or whatever. Is it like super difficult, like to remove cards from your deck? Do I remember that correctly? Like, I remember removing one, and then I couldn't remove any more, and it felt like I was stifled. I didn't want to pick anything because I didn't want my deck to get too big. Because that's like rule number 1 of deck building games is make sure your deck is as much as you need and no more.
I never really there were lots of different ways to do it. Like you could a lot of the random encounters will let you remove a card. You could get an NPC, I think, that would let you remove a card. Yeah, I mean, I would almost always pick a card. I would very rarely skip. And I got
just all these other deck games have taught me like there's too much. There's like you almost always want to have the smallest deck possible.
This is the meta game for those that were wondering. You run around these maps here and kind of kill enemies and do different events and meet different people, and it's really cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. When did I play this last? So it looks like it came out May 27th, but it's probably been in early access for quite a while, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you might have played like an old build or something. The mechanics probably changed. Yeah.
No, I mean, I remember really liking it, but there was, and it's been a minute. Oh yeah, last played December 9th for me.
Yeah, so 6 months of.
So yeah.
Or 5 months of added stuff. So.
Yeah. Okay. So there's probably some QLL shit that I made me stop playing it that maybe they've put in or whatever. So. Yeah. Always with that small deck energy. Good one, Cthulhu.
That's true. And then The Last Spell is another game you mentioned. I've seen a ton of different broadcasters playing this. And a lot of people have, I think you described it to like a little bit of the they are billions, but also not. Like what's going on with The Last Spell?
Okay, so the reason people say it's kind of like They Are Billions is because it does a similar format in terms of you have a small town, and then you're surrounded by enemies in most cases, and they attack you on different sides. And then when they attack, it's generally a very large amount of enemies compared to what you have. So they're in that regard, it's kind of They Are Billions, the very kind of top level meta aspect. The game itself, though, is almost nothing like They Are Billions. It's turn-based, first of all. It's also very small group, where you generally have between, like, I think 3 and 6 people. And it is much more focused on kind of like RPG elements of developing out these few amounts of characters to do whatever you need to do. So there are a bunch of different weapons. Those weapons can have rarities. There's also armor. There's items. On top of that, there are different skills that they can get and work on, and every time you level up, you get like random rolls on primary and secondary skills. There's perks that you level up as well, And really at the end of the day, it's just like it's basically a tower defense. Your tower is like a glowing thing in the middle, and you're just having to kind of go wave after wave, building up your town between waves, and kind of doing the best you can to keep your people like full health, full mana, so you can just kind of keep moving through the nights. And the nights get harder and harder with different types of enemies. There's like armor systems, HP systems. Different enemies have different types of attacks, that kind of thing. So it's a lot of fun, but it's pretty difficult.
Is there like an end game to it, or can you win?
Yes. So the way that it works
scenario?
is, yes, the premise, and this isn't really a spoiler because you find out at the very beginning, but the premise is that your mages are in that circle in the top right there of the screen, you can see, and they're trying to cast the last spell that like removes magic from the world, and it takes them X days to do it. I think it's 12. And so the premise is that you need to survive these nights while all the enemies of the realm start like piling, trying to destroy this little circle of mages, because obviously they will all be destroyed if you do. And then if you beat it on one difficulty, that like unlocks apocalypse difficulties, and you can kind of move through those if you want to, and it gets harder and harder and harder.
Is that kind of the meta game outside of this? Is the difficulty slider, or
it theoretically could. The meta game, it mostly exists through the rounds.
Okay.
So like as you start the game, your each round is kind of like its own contained little game. But also it's kind of learning the mechanics. So, and learning how to kind of functionally do things in the right order. Like the big kind of meta for this game is to, like rush buildings early and make sure you're spending the right amount of money on the right things. And that'll lead you to a huge amount of resources later that you can really start kind of growing out and actually keeping up with the game and things like that.
Cool. What's this game run? $20, $30?
I don't know. It is $17.99.
Oh,
and I believe it's still early access. Yeah, it's still early access, so it's still under development. It's 10% off right now on Steam.
Nice.
And totally worth it, for the record. If you like this kind of game, it is totally worth the price right now. You will probably get many, many hours out of it, and it's a lot of fun.
There's a soundtrack also for sale.
There is a metagame in terms of the there are these two entities that you either complete challenges for one of them, or you earn a resource you can spend on the other, and that part of the game does traverse through levels, and it gives you like new unlocks, different types of buildings, different types of items that can drop in the game, different types of weapons for your guys to wield and stuff. And that does keep going up through the game. So you are constantly getting more powerful as you lose.
Gotcha.
You will.
The soundtrack is also, there's a bundle for it. How's the soundtrack? Is that worth it?
Soundtrack's great.
Okay.
Yes, the soundtrack is great. It's like gothic metal in a lot of ways. It feels like if Mick Gordon were to score a gothic indie game. It's just
Okay.
There's like some moody tracks, there's some tracks that sound kind of Deus Exy. There is just some straight up like wailing guitar music. The soundtrack's pretty damn good.
Cool. Anything else that the two of you have played? I've literally only played Guilty Gear since like last Tuesday. Like I'll wrap up.
How you feeling, man?
I've been tired. For whatever reason, fighting games like actually just destroy my brain in terms of the actual like work.
You have to think so quickly all the time in that. Like your brain is functioning in a half-second time frame.
Really
everything
is.
You're doing is like within a half second for hours and hours and hours. So
I don't understand how, like I've put in, I don't know how much hours, maybe 50 or 60 hours at this point since a week ago ish, 8 days ish, since that game came out. And like, I've been talking a lot with Justin Wong, who's like a fighting game legend essentially. And, I think I'm level 71 on my character, and you essentially just get like level on your characters for just playing. And he's like 230, 240, and there's people that are like 500, and it's just like, what the fuck are you? That's so much. Like, that's so much fucking fighting games. How are you able to like play that much and still like not just have to be dragged to bed because you actually can't function with your brain at that level? I don't understand. It's definitely a lot. It's definitely a part of my like gamer brain that's never been used before, I guess, in a lot of ways. Because every single fight I learn something, right? Like every
Oh,
single
I want to
fight.
be this ram.
This ram actually, if I remember this fight correctly, I got pretty upset at this ram. Uh, but I ended up winning the sets overall.
Nice.
But yeah, like every single time I play this game for 30 minutes, something gets committed to memory. And so then the next time that I like see this single action, this like, frame data, essentially, I'm just like, oh, right, I can do this now. And then I start doing that. And then it starts becoming muscle memory. And then something new enters the brain that I have to like, well, this guy's constantly doing this move. I don't know what to do. Justin says this thing. Chat says this thing. Oh, I think this is where this guy rage quits, actually, which was very funny because I just constantly do this. And so then it's like, all right, so now instead of winning this match, if this guy's going to constantly do this, I'm just going to make sure that I'm always punching as anti-air to make sure that I can like learn how to anti-air from this fight. And it's always that. There's always something to learn in every single match.
I wish I had the memory for that.
It's muscle memory. Like it's just grinding that shit out at the end of the day.
So where are your eyes focused when you're playing a match?
I think that's why I get so tired, because everywhere, right? Like I'm watching his character. I'm watching my character to make sure that my inputs aren't like poorly executed. I'm watching the HP at the top. I'm watching the break bar right there to make sure that if he gets a combo going crazy and it's going to be like a heavy or a normal strike combo, I can like cancel out of it. I'm watching the tension meter at the bottom to make sure I can do that Orca, because that gets built up and goes away after every round. And so you're just constantly looking everywhere. And I think for like, this is where he rage quits, because I literally just spam dolphin him nonstop. And he doesn't like that.
Is there a word for that?
The
Yes,
charge
it's called
is,
dick.
yeah, he DC'd. He rage quit right there. That's we love it. Yeah, so every time that dolphin's played, or every time that dolphin move's activated, Zeke, the character, because Japanese dialogue is on, says Tutsugeki, which means charge, roughly translated. But it's said through the voice of a kind of like an anime.
How does it sound though, JP? Can you?
I mean, you can watch that clip in my chat. I can just play
come on.
Here, I'll just play
You're
the
not
clip.
gonna give me what I want.
I'll just play the clip here. Yeah, because I did do it randomly, and now my chat likes to make fun of me. Sounds like this, Zeke.
Oh, okay.
Otsugeki. It's just that over and over and over.
I am
over.
sated.
Yeah. I had a mirror match yesterday with May versus May, and it was just dolphin spam nonstop, which is great. I loved it a lot. But yeah, Guilty Gear is fantastic. The game is doing incredibly well. I think they said they sold 300,000 units already.
300,000.
Yeah. It's got a giant player base, which is awesome for people like me who are just starting out, because that means I have like people of my skill level, and I'm not just fighting like pro players nonstop and getting absolutely destroyed. And so that's great, right? Like being able to fight people that are around your skill level or slightly better than you is kind of what you want in a fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that exists
got
is
me
fantastic.
frustrated.
Oh yeah, were you playing just people miles better?
Dude, I had like 3 insanely lucky starting.
Oh,
matches.
You told me about
like,
this.
I was playing with my new controller, and my new control, and which is the same controller I use. It's awesome. It's great. And like I was just getting win after win after win. I think I got like 4 or 5 wins in a row. And then I got up to floor 9. And then I was just looking around like, what am I doing here? And then it was just like, like people would just put me in a corner and just have their way with me. And I'd be like, what's going on? Like I couldn't do anything over and over and over and over. So yeah, it just went to show me how much I need to learn about like the basic mechanics and how to get out of bad situations. And you get put in a corner, what do you do? And stuff like that. And yeah, a lot of the basics I still have to learn about the game for sure.
Yeah. And it's the game, but it's also just like fighting games in general. Like there's just an absurd amount of things to learn that are like universal in fighting games, but also specific to this, because every fighting game handles certain things that are universal a little bit differently. In a lot of ways, like I don't even know what half that shit is. So when chat says something and I have to literally Google, like, I don't know what the fuck that means. What does that mean? Oh, okay. They're saying to do X, Y, and Z when ABC happens. Okay, I understand now. And so that's been a lot of the stream, or a lot of my time with it. But I honestly play a lot offline. It's become like my go-to. Like, all right, I got like 40 minutes before I need to do something. Let's play some Guilty Gear and see how calm I can keep myself after these 40 minutes, because I need to not go into the next thing that I got to do upset. Right? It's definitely fighting games in a lot of ways for me are a test of keeping my emotions in check while also like making sure that I'm doing things properly. Because it's always the same thing of like, hey, if this guy does this one thing and is successful at it, they shouldn't stop doing that one thing. They should keep doing that one thing until you react to that one thing and make it different, right? And you can only take so many fireballs to your face before you're just like, I'm going to fucking kill this piece of shit. If he throws one more fireball, and then he throws a fireball and you're like, God damn it, why am I not just blocking this shit? But I could just block it and put, yeah, it's that constant loop. But it's good.
Do you get hold on. No, it's not a fighting game thing, but like there was a game recently and the chat would not stop saying stuff like, does Zeke not know how to block?
Oh yeah, that happens a lot. We've actually like enforced a rule that that I forgot where I picked this up. It was another streamer. Oh, it was actually Hassan Abi who was playing Dark Souls recently, because there's this whole meme with him like fighting the Nameless King, and he finally beat it on stream and whatnot. But he dared his chat to instead of shitting on him in a negative way, to make funny comments in a positive way, like in a something positive about that's happening on the stream. So now that's my rule as well on stream, is like, if I'm playing a fighting game, do not be negative to shit on me. Be positive about what's happening on stream and try to be funny about that, because it's much more challenging, it turns out, to do that. And it also just keeps me a little bit saner, right? Because when you lose a match in a fighting game and you're like, fuck, and you look over at chat, everyone's like, this idiot's just not blocking. You're like, I'm fucking killing you. You
listen, like, I know.
My favorite is when you're playing a shooting game. Is he playing on a controller? Is he playing on a controller?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you've been playing a fighting game recently, because there's been more than a couple occasions when people come to my stream, they're like, I just got fucking banned in JP's chat. And it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter what the next words are. It's like,
yeah,
if he's playing Guilty Gear, you shut your fucking mouth.
Well, it's not that I don't want people to
anything.
chat. Yeah, yeah. And
no, I mean, if you have negativity is what I meant. Like, if you have something shitty to say,
that's funny.
I don't blame him for banning you. That's your dumb fault.
Yeah.
For saying shit after a loss or something like that. Like, you wouldn't, like, I don't ban people, but I will make you sit out for an entire week or something.
Here's the thing. You can always submit an unban application. My mods know that a lot of times I will just ban people on a whim like that. So that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I also think the other reason that I get so tired, especially when I stream this game, is talking at the same time while playing and doing all that stuff exerts so much energy. And I just don't have that much energy these days because I'm just getting older and I just sit for a living. So it's just not there to begin with. So after a stream, I'm definitely just like, I gotta go to bed, but I don't want to stand up. I guess I'm just gonna sit here for a while. I just kind of do that. And like about 20, 30 minutes of that, I drag myself upstairs. So that's how it goes. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. I haven't stuck with a fighting game this long ever before. It's got its hooks in me. It's good. It also, speaking outside of my reaction to it and everything, like a absolutely absurdly beautiful game. It's one of those things where I think people just watch because of the graphics in it and because of, Ko described it when we were playing very early on as like the Persona 5 of fighting games. And I think that that's a very, very true statement. The
as someone who doesn't watch any of this shit, like, I catch glimpses here and there of like clips or videos of things that happen, and this is by far the most exciting one to watch because of the animation, the colors, how exciting it looks, and shit like that. It's very engaging.
Yeah,
I'm finding myself it's hard to turn away from watching your mediocre play.
Oh yeah,
And
no, this guy destroyed me, dude. This Leo shit on me.
No, for the record, this guy is doing everything right. He just like he's counterattacking at the perfect time. Yeah, that was ridiculous, dude. That was ridiculous. The second you jumped in, you dashed to your attack, and he's already doing his upward attack into you. Like, my lord, dude.
See, but
some
now,
people are just thinking in like a different time frame.
The nice thing is, I know exactly why he's doing that. That's a charge attack. He was baiting me into that. So as this match progressed, I stopped fucking doing that, and I was more successful because I stopped doing that. Whereas in games past, it'd be like, fucking fighting games, man. I'm fucking done with this shit. I'm gonna go fucking play Final Fantasy. You can't counter me in that game. I'm just gonna farm some fucking gil and be happy about my life. But now I'm like, all right, now I'm actually gonna learn what the fuck's happening here. But yeah, Leos are very hard for me to deal with. Leo's actually the perfect noob bait, and well, it's that he's quick, and it's that he can cross you up, and so every time he dashes through you like that, you're just supposed to block, but new players don't block. And yeah, there's just a lot of other aspects to him that is very hard to learn.
I love that finisher. Oh!
Yeah. There's also a shit ton of Leos now up in the higher-ish ranks because Sonic Fox played Leo in a tournament on Sunday that had like 17 or 15,000 people watching and won against a May. So now everyone is playing Leo Whitefang, and this was the first time yesterday that I ran into a Leo, and I don't know that matchup very well at all, as you could see in the footage here. But I did take this round off him, which I felt very good about.
Hey, this one you did pretty well,
Yeah. It's all about learning. So, yeah.
Is it best of 3, best of 5? What is it?
You have, I guess, would be best of 3.
2 wins and you win.
It's 2 wins and it's over. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can rematch up to 3 times after that.
Okay.
Oh my god.
He came back.
Now with a frustrating
insane
opponent, do you want to rematch them? Are you the kind of person that want to rematch them over and over?
Yes.
Or
both of us are, yeah. Because it's how you learn, right? Like
exactly.
If you're winning nonstop in a fighting game, you don't learn. It means that your opponent is not reacting.
More
to what
importantly,
you're doing.
It means that when you do go up against somebody who's really good, you just get even more smashed than normal.
Yeah.
Like it's that you have to get better by fighting people that are better than you, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I don't play fighting games.
Well, that's why, like,
nice.
Yeah.
This guy is a fucking cheater. I'm out.
Yeah. Well, like, Justin keeps saying, like, dude, let's play some games. I'm like, dude, I'm not, like, I can't even do a, like, simple combo. The only reason I'm in this game is because my normals are just, like, super strong. He goes, yeah, but you fight me for an hour, you're going to learn so much more than you fight randoms on the internet for an hour. So, like, we need to just sit down and you need to let me beat your ass for, like, an hour. That's essentially what he says.
But that's the thing. With the intention of helping you and talking about the shit afterwards, like, there's a certain skill level that's so far above you, you learn nothing.
Right.
Don't you think?
Oh, yes, totally. I mean, he is of that skill level. Like, Justin, like literally one of the fighting gods when it comes to fighting games. He is one of the best there ever was, for sure. So I'm sure I will learn a lot. The other thing, it's like, all right, I guess I want to get my ass beat for 3 hours today, and I guess that's going to be my life. Right. I just haven't gotten to that yet because E3 was so busy, but it's good. It's good. It's a good game. I definitely recommend picking it up if you have any interest in fighting games whatsoever. There is a shit ton of people playing, and they're all of complete varying skill levels. So, and the online, which we didn't even talk about, I think, at least not in today's episode, the online is the best online there ever was in fighting games. It is quite literally magic in terms of how it works. I played someone who had 400 ping the other day, and it felt like we were like right next to each other. It was absurd with how well it worked. And so that very thing in itself, I'm hoping other fighting games will try and like steal, right? Because it's the one thing that has always put me away from fighting games is the fact that I just don't have people to play. And now that I do, it's great. And so I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's very good. The lobby stuff, That being said, the lobby stuff is kind of whatever. It's a little bit rough. But you can also just quick match and kind of ignore the lobby altogether for the most part. So it's good. Is it cross-platform? I don't think so. I think the two communities are.
I don't believe it's cross-platform right now.
Yeah. I know that PC had the most players ever, or the more players than like Street Fighter 5 and Tekken 7 did recently on Friday. I think it had like 30 or 40,000 people playing, which is a lot for a fighting game on PC. So there's definitely people to play on that. But yeah. Anyways.
Cool.
I'll tell Barry to go back to main. I have to type all of our transitions now because I still can't use OBS. I think we're done though. I think that's it. That timed out perfectly. We need to do some shout outs, then we'll call it a show. Zeke, I'm going to work on getting the guest that we talked about the other day. Don't say it on stream because I don't want to remind people because then they're going to remind me and then I'll just get annoyed. But
okay.
Yeah. I'm going to try. So I'm not going to promise anything. I need to send a DM. But you want to do some shout outs for us, Zeke?
I'd love to.
Great. Go ahead and get started. Zeke, great transition.
Well, this is the last you're going to see me for a little bit. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at or / Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I will be on vacation starting after this show ends until the 22nd. I will be back for, well, I don't know what I would talk about in the next drop frames, but I'll be back on Wednesday.
Talk about your vacation.
Yeah, we'll
talk about my vacation, I suppose. Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'll be back on Wednesday, next Wednesday, and then still I got my feelers out on Twitter about the next main game, but it's looking like a lot of people are saying Returnal. I haven't played it yet, so
ooh, yes,
maybe I'll check out Returnal.
It's good.
It seemed like a game that I might want to play on my own, but if enough people want to watch, maybe do it.
Where?
But yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you when I get back. And oh, don't worry, I will be chiming in for my brother's setup for Dungeons and Dragons on Monday, so don't worry about that. I'll be there. That's all I got. Thanks, guys. Mwah.
Awesome. Co, do some shout outs.
Sure.
Co, Barry, I said the magic. Thank you.
My name is Co. As always, a big thanks to JP and Zeke. Fun show of recapping this week. Coming up on the channel, we're going to be finishing Ratchet Clank. Then we're going to do like a game demos extraordinary showcase thing. We're going to play a whole bunch of demos probably over the course of a few days. There's two major companies doing like a big demo spree. So we've got a lot of stuff to check out. Should be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing that probably starting, whenever I'm done with Ratchet and Clank, probably like Friday and this weekend. We'll have to see. A lot more Chivalry 2 in the evenings. And also, as you guys know, you'll hear me talk about this more next week. I'm doing a big charity event on my birthday, June 25th. It's my biggest goal ever. We have tons and tons of goals. And today, let me make this clear before I say this. The goal of the charity stream is already ridiculously high. And this is a secret goal after that, significantly higher. But if somehow a sultan from Arabia comes in and meets our goal or something happens, I have pledged to, at my own pace, play through all of the Final Fantasy 14 main story on stream.
That's why someone said, "Hey JP, you need to send $750 to Co so he play Final Fantasy."
Yeah,
750. What do you?
So I'm going to do it at my own pace. It'll probably be afternoon streams and cozy streams and stuff like that. But I have pledged that if we somehow raise this obscene amount of money for charity on the 25th, and then that is one of the goals. So anyway, that's it. Hope to see you there. It's going to be taking place on June 25th. And as always, thank you for watching this week, and hope to see you next week for more drop frames.
Are we doing the Mario Brothers
golf thing?
Yeah,
I'd love to
next week.
Hey, we could do that next week because Zeke will be back from his vacation, and we can.
Zeke gets back the 25th.
It doesn't come out the 25th.
Oh, it happens on the 25th. Oh, so then we're gonna have to wait till the 30th, unless you want to do it on your stream.
If you guys want to play a couple hours on my charity stream,
I don't mind doing that.
You guys could jump in and like play some Mario Golf. Then,
yeah,
I mean, I'm totally down for that. That'd be fun.
I don't mind doing that. I'll even.
Zeke, you down?
Do you? Are you getting like a control panel thing for like your charity stuff that you're running on your stream?
what do you mean control panel?
Like-
Berries. It's very soft.
Okay, yeah, if we can run that
Going
on,
to Tiltify.
if we're gonna play, I could just run that on my channel as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
that'd be
mind
awesome,
doing
dude.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. We'll figure it out.
chat.
We got
Yeah,
some
yeah.
time. We'll figure some out. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll chat. We'll figure it out.
Super cool.
Maybe
Super
we'll
cool.
do that next Friday then, in lieu of a drop frames, or maybe both. It doesn't matter. We can
Awesome.
probably do both. So
Figure it out.
Zeke, where are you going on vacation? Did you already say? Are you going out of town?
I'm going to exotic Billings, Montana, back to my hometown. I'm
heard of that.
No,
I've
I
heard of that
haven't.
place.
I haven't seen my mom in a couple years now
Ah.
from moving in from COVID and stuff. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna introduce the lady and the monsters, our puppies and all that stuff. My brother's in town. We coordinated because he's gonna be in town for a wedding. So
Oh,
she's gonna meet all my fucking family and it's gonna be great.
hey,
And my friends, my hometown friends too. So
shit on Billings in Montana all you want. My wife drove through there 2 or 3 days ago and said it was the prettiest part of the drive thus far. So
Montana, I've been all over our great United States, and save for Alaska, Montana is the most beautiful state, of lakes and mountains and rivers and forests.
she was just sending
by
me
far.
photos and was just like, this place is ridiculous. Like she was a little worried about gas. She was in between gas stations. It was like, oh God, I hope we get
you gotta
there.
plan for that
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
You got to have at least 2 hours worth of gas in your vehicle at all times.
Yeah, she was a little worried. But I was about to say the screenshots. That means I play too many video games. The photos that she was sending me were very impressive. So it's exciting stuff. Anyways, we'll circle back. We'll figure out what we're doing next week for drop frames between now and then, and also what's going on with the Mario Brothers on Co's charity stream. We'll probably just end up playing for that. So we'll figure it out. We'll let you guys know. Thank you so much for watching Drop Frames, not only today, but as well as all over E3 this past weekend, as well as everyone who was on the show with us. Too many names to list at the moment because I can't remember them all. You guys know who you are, and people watching know who they are. So shout out to them for joining us.
And don't forget, co.tv/DF shirt.
Right.
itmeJP/shirt.
Why is it so hard because I can never remember your link and you can never remember my link. I don't know why this is the case. They're not hard to remember. It's literally
itmeJP/
dude, I've just been saying
me
on the show, I've just been saying, like, I know your mods probably have a link over there on Ghost Channel. Just run the fucking link.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, check out the shirt.
Yeah.
Limited edition, man. It
You
looks
can get
pretty
that.
great.
We'll get Zeke's shirt.
You
right
brought
there.
a model in this time.
Zeke, please model the shirt for everyone. This is the one time someone actually wants to see your butt. That was really harsh. I'm sorry. That was kind of rude.
No. It's all right. No, I get it.
Okay. All right.
Get it. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Oh wow.
There it is.
Look
Ooh.
at that.
Woo!
Just so
Does
fashionable.
Twitch allow this?
I don't know.
know.
We might have to put ourselves in hot tubs, pools.
Quick,
and
do some
streams.
ASMR or something.
Zeke, do the ASMR.
I like that I'm pointing here. Like,
Yeah.
that's where my back hair is. It's pointing exactly to my shoulder blade back hair.
Oh God.
I got these 2 tufts right here and almost nowhere else.
That's how it works.
I like it.
Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time here on Drop Frames. We're out. Have a good one. Bye bye.